Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited, episode 94. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me is dynamic Mike duo.
Steve and Mike.
I'm dead! No, wait, am I dead or is it Dick Clark? Either way, I'm dead. What's up?
Shit!
Birdman here.
So you guys know, the listeners might not know, but you guys know that I am so far not into the horror genre at all. Yet on Time Warner Cable, I have a channel called Chiller, which is essentially all horror and spooky stuff.
But are they uncut?
I don't know. I don't watch the horror stuff. The only reason why I found out about the channel is on my search engine for the DVR thing.
Yeah.
I was looking for that really great Fox TV show, Beyond Belief, with Jonathan Frakes and Don LaFontaine doing the narration.
Yeah.
And I just love watching that show. That's probably one of the only kind of spooky kind of shows I can really watch. It just, when you said you're dead, I'm like, oh boy. The next story on Beyond Belief. Did Mike Dodd really die?
Or did he just? I don't know.
So, yeah.
But, what's everybody been doing?
Well, I've been to BotCon over the last week.
Yeah? Is that fun?
Yeah. Met
Like
Michael
Frank
Wilson
Welker's
for the first
Wang?
time.
What?
It says I met Michael Wilson for the first time.
Did you guys have like an epic bro hug or the Arnold Schwarzenegger handshake?
It was the bro hug only because the two of us were like, I thought you'd be taller. To each other. We were both short. To which I made the joke, I surround myself by short people, so it makes me look taller.
Steve, the next time you meet someone who's like a fan or someone that you work with but have never met, you have to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers handshake where you both flex biceps and go, Dylan, you son of a bitch. That's what you got to do next time. Make it a priority.
I in the process of meeting him, and I'll say a lot of this again, I'm not going to go too much in detail, but I'm going to say a lot of it on All Things Transformers when we do that, but Michael introduced me to Jim Sorensen, who happened to be walking through the convention, taking pictures and checking stuff out. He was just kind of hanging out.
Why do I know that name?
He's the author of the Transformers Legacy book, the Allspark Almanac books for Transformers Animated. He works with Bill Forrester on those for IDW.
That's pretty cool.
Had I brought mine with me, I could have had them signed. And then I got to meet two of the guys from the fan dubs I've been doing for the last 10 years, off and on. One of them is still doing the stuff and still running one of the projects. One of the other guys is kind of a professional, kind of a voice actor guy that got to actually chair the conversation with Frank Welker on stage. So that was kind of cool hanging out with them too. I got to meet in person. I know him online pretty well just from doing the fan dubs and from doing like the Beast Wars Dark Glass project. John Bailey, epic movie voice, honest trailers voice. So that was kind of neat getting to meet him in person. He met my brothers who were also at BotCon with me and made the joke that it looked like he was doing character select on Grand Theft Auto. Because I have the shortest amount of hair, my middle brother has the medium length, and my youngest brother has like the longest like facial hair and hair on his head, so it was kind of funny.
Sounds like it was a blast.
I miss going to conventions. I've always wanted to go to BotCon, but we have one up here,
TFCon? Yep. They've actually got 3 conventions this year.
Holy shit.
They got the one in Canada. They got one in Charlotte, North Carolina, or South Carolina, or wherever the hell that's at. And then the other one's in Chicago.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. They started the Chicago one last year. I think they absorbed ShardaCon, which was in Charlotte, because that one wasn't going to be able to continue, and so I think TFCon kind of absorbed it and took it out as a third convention, so it's kind of neat. And the funny thing is, a lot of the TFCon guys that run it are staff on BotCon.
Conventions working together, even if they get absorbed in, and just to keep the community together. Speaking of conventions, this past week on conbravo.com, I was announced as a guest returning to Hamilton in just a little over a month. From July 24th to the 26th, I'll be giving a couple of different panels, one with Louis Linkara from That Guy with the Glasses on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm probably doing a Ninja Turtles panel with my thing as well, because that's sort of my deal now. So, yeah, conbravo.com. This is the last weekend you can actually pre-register to get the weekend pass for like $10 or $15 cheaper, so you should probably do that. But anyway.
If you live in Canada, that is. Everywhere else, whatever.
Like, we have people coming from Japan and Australia to this convention.
They did BotCon too. There were people from all over. There were Australians and Japanese, and there were people that couldn't speak English.
I had a pair of people from the Netherlands come up and meet me at one of the conventions a couple years ago. Like, we came all the way. I'm like, not specifically for you, but we're glad you're here too. Like, man, so that's really cool. I think the fan I've met from the farthest away was Australia, and one from Brazil.
That would be kind of neat, actually.
So weird, because I get fan letters sometimes. Weird. I get a lot out of New Zealand, which is kind of weird. And I've gotten one from South Africa before, which I thought was really, really cool. Multiculturalism for the win!
Yeah. Kind of like Spider-Man. He's gone multicultural.
Miles Morales is a boss!
Since you brought that Easter egg up, we're going to crack that shell open and start talking about it.
Yes. So, in the post-Secret Wars universe, when everything is wham, blam, and thank you, ma'am, destroyed and rebuilt.
I am so far gone on Secret Wars at this point. I don't know.
I know bad shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I read, and I think I've said this before, I got the free comic book day issue that they had put out, the issue 0. And I read it, and I read it like 3 different times on free comic book day, because I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, and this is my problem with Marvel. I would have had to have read all these other series and all these other things that I didn't really give a crap about to understand what the hell was going on in Secret Wars. At least with, like, Avengers and X-Men Access, at least I could go into that knowing, from the previously page or from, the little blurb in the beginning that, hey, this is what happened, you're caught up, now read the next 9 issues and you'll be fine.
Well, it's not as bad as it was in the friggin' 90s where every book crossed over with everything at least 3 times a month. Could be a lot worse, but I hear you, though.
I mean, I like the idea of the Spider-Verse and there being multiple Spider-Men and Spider-Women, but, why do we have to turn these characters into PC nightmares? Or, basically just, why does everything have to be so goddamn politically correct these days?
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same boat, but it's like the publishers, like, I understand that there needs to be diversity, and I get that, but I don't have a problem with, like, different versions of characters being out there, like the Peter Parker and Miles Morales type thing. or even the fact that Thor exists and they still have,
Femme Thor.
yeah, which is two separate people.
Yeah.
It's when they alter the original that I don't.
That's my problem as well. It's they did this whole event, which I wanted to get interested in it, but I really haven't, and I just really don't care at this point. I'm more interested in other properties and learning about new and different things. They have this thing, the Spider-Verse. So you have multiple different, like I already said, Spider-Men and women. That's the way you can make it diverse. Don't sit there and alter a character so much that we don't recognize them.
Yeah, but sometimes that's how characters grow, though. Like, in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker's dead. But Miles picked it up. I'm okay with this.
And that's fine. I'm saying don't take a character like Peter Parker. And I'm not saying they're going to do this, and I don't want people to get offended at me when I say this, but don't take a character that has been straight for 70 years and then just immediately turn him gay.
Well, there is something to be said for that, because you look at the X-Men comics, as this went through recently, where they revealed Bobby Drake, Iceman, is bisexual or at least gay. And they've actually run into the comic. They're like, but he's a womanizer. Like, well, he just hasn't accepted it yet. Yeah, if they turn gay out of the blue, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. If it serves a decent storytelling purpose, then yeah, sure, that's fine. But yeah, don't do it for the sake of book sales. Make it interesting. Give me a reason to care about Iceman's boyfriend or something. Or Spider-Woman's girlfriend, or maybe she has an attraction to both people. Give me a reason to care about it, and I'll pick up.
I honestly think that's the only reason why Marvel is doing this whole Secret Wars thing, is to get the new readers, to get new subscribers, to get new people buying books.
Well, at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah.
So I don't see it. I see it from both sides of the coin, so I'm kind of okay with it. I just want more interesting characters. That's why I'm really interested in Miles Morales as Spider-Man. I've never cared for the character of Jane Foster, so her story I don't really care about. And the main reason I picked up the new Miss Marvel is because she was Muslim. I'm thinking, all right, that's cool. She looks neat. So I'll check it out. And she's a kid. All right. But it seems to be like Marvel's leading the charge in terms of diversity. I think it's a really good thing. So we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out in a year or two of stories. Mm-hmm. Is it a cheap marketing gimmick or?
So you mean, will they reboot it in 2 years?
Or are there going to be issues that they can tackle because of the ethnicity? Because think about this. Obviously, race problems are a huge thing right now. Mm-hmm. Someone posted this picture on Facebook, and it ties into what happened a couple weeks ago, or last week or something, sorry, when that guy went into that church and shot those 9 people, Dylan something or other. And then someone put a picture of that kid being arrested with a bulletproof vest, then cross-pictured that with another dude, I can't remember his name, and I feel terrible for this. Problem with this. So you think about it, if Miles Morales is the Black Spider-Man, how might that change public opinion of him if he's ever found out to be multiracial or something like that? That could make some really interesting stories. Spider-Man's always been that symbol for the Marvel Universe of the everyman. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with that. Plus with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, being the new Captain America. That's cool, especially if that has repercussions for the Marvel Cinematic Universe when Chris Evans' contract runs out after Infinity War.
Hasn't Sam Wilson been the new Captain America for a while now, though?
He was in the past.
But recently, I'm saying, when I was reading, again, I'll reference Avengers and X-Men Access. And in that, he was Cap. Because both Steve and Sam were... Steve was retired, but he was still around. So, I don't know. It's just a whole... Marvel and DC with their continuities, it's like, putting a bunch of red shirts in with the whitewash. It turns into a whole big pink mess.
I guess we'll just, like I said, we're not going to know how it's going to turn out for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
And see if it sticks or see if we get any really good stories come out of it. So, guess we'll kind of wait and see. Although I did find that kind of funny, though, how in the Sony emails that were leaked in relation to the Spider-Man, I find that kind of fascinating. But at least Stan Lee, when he came out and said about it, he's not opposed to other characters, just make different ones.
That's, yeah.
So I can see where, like, Stan Lee's coming from. Totally get that, respect it. You know what, you've been in this business for 60 years, you've earned that right. And you're not a bigot, clearly, so.
Yeah. And then there's the PC debacle over Arkham Knight. I guarantee you this is all the console's fault. The console companies got together and ganged up on the PC.
Well,
the
PC version is a
9 times
port.
out of 10 anyway.
The PC version is a port.
It was done by a company named Iron Galaxies. These guys actually have done some quality work in the past. They did all the ports of the Capcom CPS2 era fighters. So that's your Marvel Origins, that's your Marvel vs. Capcom. Excuse me. They did Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Third Strike, Killer Instinct for the Xbox One. These guys have a really good track record. Just their ports suck for whatever reason. Honestly, this should have been done internally at WB Games for whatever reason, or Rocksteady should have been given additional resources. But
it's just crazy.
I have watched the 12-hour gameplay of the video.
Yeah.
Mind you, skimming elements of it.
It's one of the best reasons to own a console. Holy shit, is this game good?
Yeah, it looks good.
Like, it plays amazing. Like, I'm having a lot more fun with this one than I ever had with Arkham City or Arkham Asylum.
I will say that this story ties it up even with Arkham Origins really well.
Yeah, although you see the twist coming a mile away, if you know any lore.
You do, but how far are you into the game?
Oracle just got kidnapped, but I'm doing a lot of the side.
Okay, depending on how many side missions, depends on part of the ending of the game that you complete.
Quote unquote, you have to get 100%. This will never happen for me. Fuck the Batmobile. Yeah.
I've noticed that in the game. The Batmobile is going to be the pain in the ass in the game.
It's the racing sections. I did a Riddler course last night. I guess it must have been way above my skill level, and I couldn't leave. I'm thinking, man, if I don't finish this, I'm never going to be able to move on. I even reset the game, and it put me right back in there. So I'm thinking, oh, fuck, thankfully I was able to get out of that section. But I'm thinking, man, this section can kiss my ass. Like, oh... You know, it's not so much that vehicle combat is terrible, because it's fun when you get used to it, but it's this thing handles like shit.
Yeah, it crashes into walls, doesn't steer very well.
That's crazy.
But I will say that
they could have got Rockstar to do
Gordon.
Pardon?
I was going to say, when you get past the Barbara Gordon part, the Oracle part, or even during part of it, one of the twists you see a mile away, like the Arkham Knight himself, they tried to play like the J.J. Abrams card with it. You know, it's not this guy, but it is. But one of the twists that has to do with like Joker's blood that was sent across Gotham and Arkham City.
That just seems like an unnecessary plot thread.
It adds up by the end.
Like, I'm sorry, Steve.
It really fucks up Scarecrow's plan.
There is one thing I do like. There are some twists in the storyline where I'm like, wow, I didn't think they'd actually go there. I don't know, like, because I've read how it ends, just because I'm thinking, if I don't finish this by Saturday, I'm in some trouble. But overall, it's one of the best reasons to have an Xbox One or a PS4. Like, it is
I wish
so
I could
good.
afford one.
Fuck, dude, it looks... actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Right now, I think between...
What's that?
Offering $150 credit when you trade in an older console.
Yeah, it's the rest of the money I can't come up with right now.
Yeah. But, hey, Black Friday, who knows?
Yeah, maybe I can get one for $200.
Yeah, because Xbox One does do backwards compatibility, whereas PS4 does not.
Yep. And I like the Xbox controller better anyway. Plus, with having having an Xbox One, you can stream it to your Windows 10.
Yeah, which I'm really looking forward to playing with that, especially with the Oculus Rift info and all that shit. So that should be fun. But no, seriously, Arkham Knight, so that sucks. But I still got the standard edition. I will say though, the extra DLC for Harley Quinn and the Red Hood, it's kind of not worth it.
Well, I will say this. If you wait for the Game of the Year edition, you'll get all of it anyway.
Yeah. Like, you can beat Harley Quinn in 20 minutes, 10 if you're really good. Same with the Red Hood stuff. You can beat that in less than 30 minutes. Although his is a lot more fun because he's got guns. But some of the new skins are kind of cool. I'm actually playing through it right now with the Batman Flashpoint skin, and then I'll switch back to the new 52. I have the first appearance in the Batman Inc. skins, but I guess because they're tied into the Season's Pass, I can't access them yet. But I did see them in my Xbox download queue, so I know that I've got...
I do like the Batman Inc. skin. I do like the new 52, and I like the Justice League 3000.
Can't wait till they unlock everything, or at least once all the season's content is out. Actually, I was kind of hoping I could find a pre-order code for Batgirl, but evidently that's not out yet. It's only Harley Quinn and Red Hood. But you get 6 months of content for $40, which is a little insane when you think about it. But
that's why I'm waiting for Game of the Year.
I just don't know if I'm ever gonna 100% this. Now, if they had an option, like all Riddler puzzles solved for $5-10, I'd pay that. And I know some people are screaming at their screens right now.
I would too, because I can never beat those.
Yeah, it. Fuck you, man. I can't do that. Who's got time for that?
Yep.
But anyway. In other video game news, the developers behind Destiny opened their mouth. Actually, no, wait. Let's finish up one thing on this Arkham Knight thing. WB has suspended sales of this game on the PC until it's fixed.
That's a good move, at least.
Well, yeah. Well, they're actively telling customers, if you're not satisfied, demand a refund. And that's a big move on behalf of a publisher to come out and say that.
That's actually good to have them stand behind their product like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. But this game was blasted on Steam. I was actually watching a stream when Angry Joe was trying to review it for the PC. Okay, there's mad, and then there's that. I thought this kid was going to blow a gasket.
Well, he isn't called Angry Joe for nothing.
Yeah, holy shit. Like seriously, he was like one step away from going Super Saiyan. He was pissed. And understandably, a lot of people are mad at this. I mean, this is obviously a PR disaster. I can only imagine how this is going to impact Iron Galaxy, the guys behind the PC port. Because like I said, it's not like they're a horrible company. It's just they've had
a crap ton of shit fall on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, why they wouldn't say, okay, guys, clearly it's not ready. We're going to give you the next 3 weeks. Make it happen.
Because we live in an age now where Every single version of a game has to come out on the same fucking day or the same week. I'm sorry, Steve.
It doesn't always happen, but usually,
well,
yeah.
I mean, like, okay, normal, okay, let's say 5, 10 years ago, you would have, I would see ads for stuff, like, let's see, 5 years ago, I don't know, the movie version of Amazing Spider-Man or something, and it would say, GameCube, PS2, blah blah blah. I know those aren't systems that were out majorly, but and then 2 weeks later, here's the PC version.
Yeah, PC games, they either get a massive amount of support or they get shit on, which sucks. There very often isn't a happy middle ground. Obviously, that has to change. Companies need to respect that their PC gamers are just as important as console gamers. But at least WB's listening to the fans and their behind Halo, and they did a game came out last year called Destiny. You may have heard of it.
Yes.
Destiny has had a bunch of problems with its DLC practices. It's been called, as I often like to call it, gaming's hottest 7 out of 10. And they announced at E3 there's going to be a new expansion called The Taken King. Cool. So one of their community managers came out and gave an interview a few days ago and saying if people wanted to get the collector's edition with new emotes, armor, shaders, and some weapons and some shit, they'd have to rebuy the same game to get this extra content. And he went out and said,
That's crap.
And he said, and I quote, if you saw these new emotes, you'd be throwing money at the screen. A super fan's going to buy it anyway. So Bungie, a day or two later, said, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Destiny said, okay, look, you don't have to go out and rebuy everything. When the game comes out, they get the collector's edition, they get all the extra shit. It's just going to cost you $20 if you own everything else already. And you know what? That's fair. But they took so much flack. And
as they should.
Yeah, as they should. Now, $80 for 3 expansions and the base game, that's not terrible. If you're new coming into the franchise. If you've been here since day one, then, bite my ass. But since now they're trying to get things right, Destiny's finally starting to shape up to the game that it should be. But I don't know, because that's a pretty big pie in the face. And for them to turn around so quickly, I mean, at least they're listening to people.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll kind of wait and see what happens come September.
Yeah. What else is on the agenda, Steve?
Samsung has a clear truck that aims to make roads safer.
That would just freak me out, honestly.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I have questions as to how it would perform under certain weather conditions.
You mean like a blizzard?
Yeah, a blizzard, a heavy rainstorm. Will these trucks have to meet different safety requirements as outlined by your Ministry of Transportation?
I'm just wondering where the camera's at.
I think the entire... I guess they have to be on the sides and on the front. That's how I guess they'd have to.
Because I mean, I'm kind of geeked for it only because there's times when, I mean, for one, it's going to require a company to actually spend money on the trailers, which I doubt is going to happen unless they're already getting a new one.
Or maybe they'll be offered incentives to buy them.
Yeah, which if they do, that would be great because there's times where you want to pass a semi and you can't see shit around them, and you're like weaving in and out of your lane trying to, So I mean, I totally get the reasoning for it, and I would actually support it because that's, honestly, it's not that much different than when you have the backup cameras in cars when you go to put your car in reverse.
Like I said, I've got a number of questions about it. Like, I think it's remarkably cool tech that they're moving forward with this. I know up here in Canada, it's not the same thing, but they're working on these industrial automation on the roads. And I don't know, it's kind of a neat time to see how all this thing's going to work. Hell, we're going to have the Johnny Cabs from Total Recall, I'm pretty sure, in the next 10 years. So a see-through truck, that's kind of cool. That's going to stop a lot of traffic accidents, hopefully.
Yeah.
Mind you, at the same time, are they a distraction? Yes. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out, because the first time there's an accident and one of those things is on the road, the lawyers are going to circle like vultures around this.
Which could make or break the camera on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's a very cool innovation. Its heart is so in the right place, but it'll be. But goddamn, if that don't look cool. And man, I can't wait till someone is the first person to hack one of those trucks. Because that shit's gonna happen.
That would be hilarious. Somebody drives up and then freaking Megatron comes up. I will eat your spark.
I'm going to loot porn.
Oh, God.
You would.
80 feet of porn.
You would.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, are we essentially living in the age of iRobot now?
You know what? It's actually kind of...
The reason why I ask is because we have, self-driving, some self-driving cars. We've always had cruise control. We've had cruise control for years now, but I keep going back and watching iRobot with Will Smith and Shia LaBeouf, and I'm like, oh my God, are we there yet with the technology?
I think we will have fully, good self-driving cars probably by 2030. The technology works now, but it can't do city yet. But it can do highway all day. Which I'm very curious to see how that's going to affect travel and tourism and stuff like that. And just because, Mike, you don't drive because you've got cerebral palsy.
Right.
Imagine if you could have your own self-driving vehicle. You could get around to do whatever you needed to now.
Very true.
That opens up some really cool...
Yeah, but the thing is probably going to cost $500 and something thousand.
$30. It's somehow available at the consumer level. But, like I said, it's a pretty cool time to be involved in the automotive industry, just to see how it's evolving. Now, if we can get over that whole energy crisis thing, we'll be set.
Maybe we should call Tony Stark. Apparently he's the only name in clean energy right now.
My God. The day we have clean, renewable energy, that's going to be awesome. Because right now, we're a lot closer to Mad Max as opposed to Star Trek in terms of futures that are about to happen.
Oh, what a lovely day.
And hey, if that happens, I'm looking forward to wearing the Lord Humongous mask.
So, speaking of Star Trek, Paramount is now thinking about taking pitches for a new TV series. And what they're dubbing it so far is a pitch invitation to Star Trek Uncharted, is what they are basically calling it. But it would also depend on if CBS decided to go along with the idea, because CBS actually owns the rights. It's Paramount that just makes the films.
Right, yeah.
So the talk is that it could fit in either classic or rebooted Trek continuity approximately 200 years after the adventures of Kirk, in which the galaxy has been devastated by a far-reaching conflict initiated by Romulans, something with the Andromeda Galaxy, and a new hyper warp gate type thing. So, which would also feature a new USS Enterprise. So, but it's one of the concepts that they're throwing out there. I don't know.
So wait. How many Enterprises do we have right now?
E. Well, technically F if you count Star Trek Online. So
No,
there's...
TV and movie. How many Enterprise? No video game crap.
Well, technically that's
Star Trek
canon.
Online is considered canon, so
It is canon with the original continuity.
So we would be up to G then?
If it went with the original continuity.
Yeah.
If it went with new continuity, then it would be A.
Mm-hmm. Why do I keep flashing back to Scotty's line? No A, B, C, D, or...
Well, or D.
Yeah.
There was no E at that time,
Yeah.
or F. And there is a G if you count Star Trek Enterprise.
that was the
prequel.
NX though. To be fair,
Well, no, I'm not saying that one. When the future Enterprise timeline, when they had that war going on, there was an Enterprise G.
no, guys, we've reached a whole level of nerdity by having this conversation, right?
Hey, you guys are the Trekkies. You're the ones that brought it up.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't. He
Nope,
did.
you said Star Trek.
Why the hell would I bring up Star Trek? I prefer Death Stars as long as they don't explode.
Laddie, Captain Picard would blow the shit out of it.
Oh, speaking of the new Star Trek thing, I read an article somewhere about someone. It was probably some stupid website that is trying to just get clickbait, but someone said something about potentially it being Captain Worf.
I did see that too. It seems
That
like
would be
every
awesome.
couple of months, Michael Dorn
Yeah. What else is Michael Dorn doing?
or
right now?
miniseries anyway.
Yeah, no, I would love to see Captain Worf, honestly, because I mean I did grow up watching Next Generation. I didn't watch it all the time, but I did grow up watching it. I do remember a lot of those episodes.
I want to see something in the Star Trek Renegades timeline because that's finished. It's actually, I think they're going to show it like next month or in August. I think
Is it just one episode?
it's like, I think it's like, I'm not sure if it's a episode or a movie. I'm not sure. I think it's like an hour at least anyway. Because I know the prop guy and some other people in the production, and from what I hear, it sounds fucking cool. So I'm hoping I hope it lives up to my expectations.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you have Chekhov, you have Tuvok, and then a bunch of other people. I don't know who the hell they are. I'm sorry. Back to Star Trek Enterprise. It was the Enterprise J, not G.
Jesus Christ. I think after D, they should stop naming ships after, because I'm pretty sure that's kind of bad luck.
Yeah.
Well, they did rebuild E.
Yeah.
And then they retired it. And then F was built for Data.
That's one person that should never have been captain. I'm sorry.
Hey, but Picard's the ambassador to Vulcan at that point.
Well,
Man,
I guess
why don't they just friggin' retire?
I guess since Spock was dead, yeah, that having Picard be the ambassador for Vulcan, that makes sense.
I'm gonna pull a Blanchard. That reminds me of Rat Trap with Optimus Primal. Yeah, the guy was dead.
Shut up, Rat Trap. God.
So yeah, that was pretty much the stuff. Oh, this is one last thing that we can touch on. Kind of cutting it short a little bit this week, but this one will pique Dodd's interest because we didn't do a show last week, and they had all the E3 stuff. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to think.
I'm excited, but one of the I talked about this in a different podcast, and I'm very curious as to say, okay, this takes place after the event of Mass Effect 3. I know it's in the future, but I want to know which ending was canon. What's the official line?
They're saying it's a different galaxy. Like, it's the Andromeda galaxy instead of the Milky Way galaxy, like everything else was in it.
Yeah, so I'd like to know how far in the future this is removed from the last cycle. So I'm presuming probably at least 500-600 years. But that also means Liara could technically still be alive. Because Asari lived to be 1,000 years anyway. So, who knows? But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. Odds are we'll probably see something at Gamescom in Germany in August. So yeah, hopefully by like E3 we'll see Collector's Edition will have a firm release date. I can already predict November 7th, 2016. I'm guessing because it's N7 day.
That'd be a good day.
That is. N7 day is not August. It would work, actually. It would be Monday, November 7th. That's my prediction cool. Right now. So for those of you keeping score out there, mark my words. That's when it'll come out. So yeah, like I'm really hoping we get an exciting thing. I hope we start getting developer diaries over the course of the next year, talking about the new hero, the protagonist, the world setup. Hopefully, I guess now the Reaper threat's been dealt with. What's the next big thing? And even judging from the trailer, it looks like they may not even need the mass relays anymore to do big space travel. They may just be internalized now.
Which would be cool. But I think also, depending on the ending that you did, they rebuild the relay.
Yeah, I would like to know because my guess is this will happen too. There'll be DLC that will allow you to revisit the Milky Way. You'll probably go to the Citadel. You'll go to the Citadel. You'll go to Thessia, stuff like that. You'll see what happened to the galaxy after Shepard saves it, and maybe I'll even go back to Earth and visit Shepard Memorial Plaza or something. Or is that on Eden Prime? I'm not sure. But yeah, like there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs hidden in that pre-order goes up for pre-order. I'm getting it right away. Oh my god, I will get that thing right away. And I'll probably get another Mass Effect tattoo if the game's that good. I already have an N7 on my right arm, so maybe I'll do System Alliance on my left, or I'll go Paragon. No. My wife is telling me no. So
nice.
Yeah, I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens with it. But I'm totally excited. In fact, I'm actually replaying Mass Effect again still. I've never done a full Renegade run. I'm doing that right now. Man, Shepard is an asshole and a psychopath if you play him the right way. It's kind of hilarious, and he's funny as shit.
Yeah, I noticed you can do that in conversation. Like when I played 3, I went through the entire game kind of being that, I'm building an alliance, I'll help you out, you help me out kind of thing. But I'm not sure what I'll do when I start back over on Mass Effect 1 and go all the way through with the stories building on each other.
Paragon, Paragon, Paragon. Be nice to everybody. And you will have overwhelming support to kick the shit out of the Reapers. I think at my highest, not including my N7 score from Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, I think I walked into the final confrontation with war assets of over 10,000. So it was a lot of, yep, hey Reapers, yeah, you're fucked. There's one point in Mass Effect 1 you'll like. After each major mission, after like Pharos or Noveria or Vermeer, you call into the council, and Joker will patch it back to the Normandy's comm room. So one mission, I was on to like, Commander, is this some kind of joke? And like, did you call us here just to cut us off? You bet. And then I just cut them off. Or you'll do the same thing on like another mission. They'll be like, Commander, we are here to oops. And Joker will be like, that never gets old, does it? And Commander Shepard's like, no, it doesn't.
That's funny.
Oh my god, there's so many moments in that game. Like I said, if you're a complete asswipe.
I think that would be fun just to go through and just be a smart ass with everybody.
So much fun. It really is. Like, and I've had people tell me they've never played Paragon, they've only done Renegade. It's such a different experience because certain sections will be harder. You'll miss out on certain things. In fact, you're supposed to have a romance by the end of the first game. Yeah, Mike Shepard's only romance was his left hand at the end of the first mission. So
I think it's funny how each game does that.
Oh yeah, like I think in Mass Effect 2, which is the one I'm in right now, I'm totally gonna try and bang Tali because she's the only woman in the Mass Effect series I've never romanced before. So I'm gonna see what happens to see if she'll shack up with Renegade Shep. I'll treat everybody else like shit except her. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a part of the gameplay until it actually was happening. So it kind of threw me for a loop for a second there.
Especially, depending on how you play, you get a really good relationship. Like, my ideal is Fem Shep and Garrus. That's my favorite. And then with male Shep, I tend to go with Liara, although she hates my guts right now.
What, in the first game?
Oh, yeah, I totally basically told her to go fuck herself. I'm like, don't study me. Keep away from me, you weird squid. Yeah, you can say shit like that. It's fucking hilarious.
I do love the dialogue system in the game.
Oh yeah.
I love it when it makes you go all around the circle though. Like when there's certain dialogue that the game doesn't really want you to say, but it'll let you say.
Oh yeah. I've never in fact, I might stream this again at some point on my Xbox One. I'm gonna have and just have fun with that. Because I've never encountered a game that was this much fun to be an asshole in.
I've really enjoyed the game, though. It's been fun.
Yeah, like Mass Effect Andromeda, when that comes out next year, it's going to consume my life. It's going to be awesome. Get hype! So, what else we got left, Steve?
I think that's it.
Well, as you always give us the opportunity to kind of plug stuff, this past week I interviewed a woman over at Paizo Publishing, the guys that produced the Pathfinder role-playing game. Turns out they made this adventure card game, and it is one of the most fun things O'Connor. And she was just a barrel of laughs, really insightful, a lot of fun. So that interview should be available tomorrow on Twig for Boss Roll on Saturday. And then we had Free RPG Day about 2 weeks ago. So I'll probably do how to get started in role-playing as well. New Last Exit to Ponyville on next Tuesday. And you and I will get together for a Future Imperfect after the 4th of July. Because patriotism. Good. And, yeah, so that's pretty much what's coming up with me in the next little bit.
Damn Canadians.
I know, eh? Us and our nerd blocks and free health.
That, and you just caused a power outage in my house, you assholes.
We control the power for most of North America.
I was going to say don't fuck with Commander Shepard and it won't happen.
Exactly, because he's Canadian. Or Caden is. He's from Vancouver. But anyway. In Canada, he actually is.
I would say something, but I would get in trouble for it.
Anyway.
Does it start with the letter F?
No. It has to do with the other Commander Shepard.
The other.
Commander Shepard?
FemShep. Hello?
Yeah?
Never mind. Anyway.
Okay, then. So, anything you want to pip out Blanchard since you missed the last 20 minutes?
It's not been 20 minutes.
Well, whatever.
The memorial fund for my mom passing away is still going. It has like 30-something days left, so if you can, please donate to that, because I really do need some financial help right about now. Let's see, the pull bag, we're about to start Robin Hood month coming up in July. We're going to spend all 5 weeks going over the Xenoscope Entertainment series, Grimm Fairy Tales presents Robin Hood. It's a completely new take on it, on the classic Robin Hood tale. The entire series is just so good. So that's what's going on in the pull bag. For Remote Controller TV podcast, we're going to be having a few more finishing finales, and then we're going to do, I think, a couple of season passes, and then we're going to start our broadcast network spotlight. So that's what's going on there. Tooncast Beyond, we will eventually, hopefully before September, be recording episode 60, which will be Gargoyles. So we'll be doing that, but that's pretty much it.
Alrighty, and I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I do know I'll be doing a new All Things Transformers.
Yep.
Talking BotCon, so that'll be fun. Doing the entire brain dump on the event, because that was a freaking blast. Mostly because I met Frank Welker.
What's he like, Steve?
I don't know. I didn't actually get to talk to him. He's awesome, but I did get to see his panel, so that was actually pretty cool. Michael Wilson reposted it because he was in the front row. So yeah. Alrighty then, so thank you for listening to Altered Geek Unlimited. You can get a hold of us in the following ways. You can contact us on the website, geekcastradio.com. You can leave us Twitter comments on @AlteredGeek. My Twitter handle is @SCP21, and yours are, guys?
TF2 and Mike.
And you can reach me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook @Birdman Dodd.
So, until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.